The stage was set, big audience, high ticket offer on the table, and I was ready. I'd practiced the close. I knew the talking points. The offer, it was solid. But the first 5 minutes, crickets. The room wasn't cold, it was numb. And I knew exactly why. I hadn't earned the right to lead them yet. Not because I lacked credentials or not because I hadn't delivered results, but because I skipped the one thing that makes every sale easier: the entrepreneur's journey story. Hey there, I'm Lord Al Jensen, founder of the Next Stage Communications, and I've delivered over 7,500 talks since 1974. I've coached TEDx speakers, executives, pastors, attorneys, entrepreneurs, and I can tell you this: the story that earns belief, the story that makes people lean in, isn't the story of success. It's the story of how you got there. Because no one buys your solution until they believe your journey. And that is exactly what we're unpacking today: how to turn your entrepreneurial backstory into a message that inspires, why sharing the messy middle is your secret sales weapon, and how you tell that story in a way that builds trust and ultimately leads to yes without sounding like a hype machine. Oh, and I'm not just going to tell you how to do it, I'm going to model it. You'll hear parts of my entrepreneurial journey today, moments that I've used from the stage, on sales calls, even in webinars that converted better because of the story. And by the end of this episode, you will understand how to spot the difference between a look at me story and a learn from me story. You'll understand how to use your why to earn trust instead of trying to impress. And you'll understand how to drop one single story that turns followers into fans and, more importantly, buyers. Plus, I'll share with you how to get my new mini course, Next Stage Entrepreneur's Journey Story, to help you actually build your own version of this story from scratch. So let's kick this thing off. If you've ever told your backstory and watched eyes glaze over, or if you've ever wondered why people nod but they don't buy, if you've ever felt like your message was right but the audience still wasn't sold, well, stick around, because the story that earns belief, you're about to learn how to tell it. But let's bust a myth wide open. Your credentials are not the reason that people say yes. Neither is your fancy website, your polished slides, or your stacked testimonials. Nope. When it comes down to it, your story is what sells. And not just any story, your entrepreneurial journey, the why behind your work, that moment that you knew, this is who I am now. This is what I've walked through, and here's why I'm here to help you. Because here's what most people get wrong. They try to lead with what they do. They pitch features. They explain benefits. They solution dump all over their audience, hoping that something will stick. But people don't buy solutions that they don't believe in. And they won't believe in your offer until they believe in you. That belief, that trust, it's built on your story, your entrepreneur's journey story. Now, let's define this for just a moment. This is not your resume in narrative form. It's not your "I started a lemonade stand when I was 5" speech. And it's definitely not the full epic saga of your entire professional life. Your entrepreneur's journey story is one thing. It's the turning point. It's the moment where things got real. The moment where your work stopped being just a job and became a mission. Let me give you an example. I wasn't always a messaging coach, a speaking strategist, or story whisperer. I was a workhorse. I said yes to every mic, every gig, every opportunity to talk about business or leadership or motivation. And sure, I got applause, even a few standing ovations. But one night, after a keynote that checked all the boxes but didn't land emotionally, I sat in my car in the parking lot, staring at the steering wheel and asked myself, did that even matter to anyone? And the answer is probably not, because I hadn't told them the truth. I hadn't shown them the fire that drives me. I delivered a clean talk, but I left out the connection. That was the night that I realized I don't just want to speak. I want to move people. I want them to feel something. I want them to decide something. I want them to take action because my story showed them what's possible. That shift, that's when everything started to change. My content got sharper, my delivery bolder, and the results way more aligned with the kind of speaker and coach that I actually wanted to be. So let me bring this back to you. If you are an entrepreneur, a speaker, a coach, anyone trying to move people towards transformation, you have a moment like that too. I know you do. It might not be dramatic. It might not have a soundtrack, or it might not involve bankruptcy or betrayal or near-death survival, but it does involve truth, a shift, a realization, a fire that still burns if you're brave enough to go back and find it. Because that fire, that's the story that earns belief. That's the story that says to your audience, hey, I've been exactly where you are. I know what it's like. And I built something that can help you move forward. And here is why this matters so much. Most of your audience is sitting there wondering, is this for me? Can I trust this person? Will they get me, or will they just try to sell me? And when you open the curtain and show them the journey, not the brag reel, but the real, you build that trust instantly. You go from stranger to guide. You go from seller to storyteller, from expert to someone they want to follow. That's the power of the entrepreneur's journey story. It turns your message into a mission. It makes your offer believable, not just logically, but emotionally. And it gives people something to say yes to, not just because it sounds good, but because it feels right. Next, I'll walk you through the exact framework that you can use to craft your entrepreneur's journey story. Especially, it's not a ramble, it's not a memoir, it's not a motivational monologue, but it's a strategic, emotionally resonant, conversion-driving piece of your message that fits into any keynote, any sales call, any webinar, especially into every live event. So let's get to the how. You've got the moment. You've got the fire, the ship that turned your work into a mission. Now you need to shape it. Because a good story told in the wrong structure, well, it rambles. It confuses. It sounds like self-indulgent TED Talk audition energy. But the right structure, it creates momentum. It earns belief and it drives decisions. So here's what I teach inside the Next Stage Entrepreneur's Journey story, and what I'm going to lay out for you right now. It's the belief. It's the before, belief, breakthrough, and bridge framework. It's simple, it's powerful, and it keeps your story strategic, not just sentimental. So let's walk it out. Step number one, before. This is your setup. This is where your audience meets you from before the brand, before the breakthrough, before you came the person who could help them. Now, warning here, keep it tight. This is not a full bio. This is not a long list of first I did this and then I did that. One moment, one headspace, one key before picture. You want your audience to think, yeah, I've been there. This is when empathy starts to build. As an example, I was the hardest working speaker that no one remembered. I was great at sales, but miserable every Sunday night. I was building a brand I didn't believe in just because it paid. This is the before. It's raw, it's relatable, and it sets the emotional tone. Number two, belief. This is what makes your story stick. What was the belief that you were operating under? This is the I used to think moment. It reveals the flawed mindset, the old operating system. This part matters because people don't change until their beliefs change. And when they hear your shift, they start to open up to their own. Here's some examples. I thought the more I said yes, the faster I'd grow. I believed credentials were more important than connection. I was convinced that passion had to take a backseat to profit. You're showing the internal struggle, not just the external journey. And that's what hits different. That's what makes it land. Number three, breakthrough. This is the turning point. It's the catalyst, the conversation, the wake-up call. This is the moment when the old belief crumbles and something new emerges. Make this vivid. Make it personal. Be specific. Not just, well, I realized I wanted more. Tell them what cracked you open. Example, I watched someone walk out of my talk halfway through, and I realized I hadn't earned the right to lead. I missed my kid's recital for a client who ghosted me the next week, and something in me just snapped. Or a coach looked me in the eye and said, your content's brilliant, but I don't believe that you believe it. That wrecked me, and it saved me. So this is your fire starter moment. Don't water it down. And number four, the bridge. Now you connect the dots. Now you show your audience how that turning point led to your mission. This is where your offer comes alive. This is where you say, without hype and without pressure, that journey made me who I am, and now I help others make the same shift. It's not selling, it's serving. Example. That's why I started Next Stage Communications, because nobody should have to wonder if their voice matters. That's why I help entrepreneurs build message-driven brands, because your story isn't just personal, it's profitable. Or that's why I created this framework, because every time you stand up to speak, you deserve to feel confident, clear, and fully you. That's how you earn belief, and that's how you invite action. You're not telling a story to show off. You're telling it to build a bridge between your past and their future. So when you use the before, belief, breakthrough, and bridge structure, here's what happens. You stay focused. There's no rambling. You stay real. There's no posturing. You stay in service. No sleazy pitch energy. And the best part of all, you build trust and drive action without sounding like you're trying to close a deal. And that is what the entrepreneur's journey story is all about. It's a trust accelerator. It's a conversion tool, a credibility builder, and a positioning powerhouse. So let me ask you, have you built yours? Have you shaped that story into something that's ready to work for you? Have you crafted it to drop right into your keynote, into your sales call, or Your next big webinar? If not, I got you covered. In a moment, I'll tell you how to get the Next Stage Entrepreneur's Journey mini course. We'll build your story together, start to finish, with prompts, with frameworks, and real-world examples. But before we get to that, you've just unlocked one of the most powerful tools in your storytelling arsenal. Not just a story for attention, but a story that creates alignment, that bridges who you are with who they are, and sets the stage for what comes next. If you only take one thing from this episode, let it be this: your entrepreneurial journey isn't just something that you survived. It's something you share, because that's how you serve. When you own that story, when you shape it with strategy and share it with intention, you become more than a speaker. You become someone that people believe in, that they follow and they buy from, because people buy with their hearts before their heads. And when your story speaks to their heart, the rest just takes care of itself. So here's what's next. If you're ready to not just think about this, but actually build your entrepreneur's journey story from the ground up with total clarity, confidence, and conversion in mind, then I've got a mini course with your name on it. It's called the Next Stage Entrepreneur's Journey Story. Transform your backstory into a sales story that inspires, connects, and converts. Inside, you'll get a step-by-step framework to identify the moment that matters most. You'll get plug-and-play prompts to help you shape your story with emotional resonance. You'll get a breakdown of what to say, what to cut, and how to structure it for maximum impact. You'll get guidance on delivering it in keynotes, in webinars, and sales calls, and even interviews. And bonus AI prompts to sharpen and rehearse your story so it feels real and not robotic. The entire system is just $37, less than the cost of a dinner out. And it could unlock the one story that changes how people see you, how they hear you, how they trust you, and how they buy from you. So just go to the show notes and check out the link. It's right there in the show notes. You can click on it and have it on your device in just moments. It's all there waiting for you. And hey, if this episode hit home for you, would you do me a favor? Hit that subscribe button. Would you leave a quick comment or a review and share it with a speaker, a coach, or an entrepreneur who needs to own their story? Because your voice matters, your story matters, and the world is waiting to be moved by what only you can say. Let's make sure they never forget it. And I'll see you on the next stage.